All right, we're recording. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the KMM community meeting. Today is December the 13th of 2023. And I just wanted to cover a couple items from since the last meeting that we had. That was actually some time ago. We have now moved to a monthly cadence for this meeting. So since the last meeting, we actually had the KMM session at KubeCon North America, KMM Your Swiss Army Knife for kernel modules on Kubernetes. I did put the link here on that agenda item, so you can go and watch that. I think we had a great feedback there. It was a great session. The demo actually worked. So if you want to see how we can, enable an Intel GPU in OpenShift and use it for inference on a stable diffusion text-to-image a demo, then you can definitely check that out. We also had another session in Tokyo at the Open Source Summit in Japan. Fairly similar session, although we actually showed KMM 2.0 in the demo. And we actually had much better performance with the GPU. So I think also a great demo. The links are available on GitHub, obviously. So do check that out if you want to see a KMM-enabled GPU in Kubernetes. A demo of that, absolutely. The last item I wanted to cover was that we finally released version 2.0 with a big change from module loader daemon sets to worker pods. So with this change, we're actually bringing a much improved reliability in terms of module unload. And we're also reducing the footprint of those module loader pods and daemon sets, because we are moving from something that is long-lived to short-lived worker pods that exit as soon as they have loaded or unloaded a KMod. So I believe I did. I'm not sure if this is. Yeah, this doesn't work. Because I'm only sharing WhatsApp, but please follow that link to have more information about the version 2.0 of KMM and all the good stuff that it brings. That's it for the announcements or for the things that happened since the last meeting. In terms of V2, one of the breaking changes that we have is that we're actually introducing a length limit for the name and the namespace of your modules. So the combined length of those two elements should not exceed 39 characters, which is fairly long, but please be aware of that limit that is actually coming from a limitation in the Kubernetes labels that we are applying to nodes. So this is one of the consequences of moving to worker pods. Finally, we are welcoming Ivan Teterevkov. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Hello, Ivan. So I understand that you've been testing KMM V2. Can you maybe tell us a few things about the use case and what you are trying to achieve with KMM?
Yep, sure. Thank you. So I'm part of the SolarFlare Open Unload team, and we have the user space network acceleration technology. So it's a hardware, NICs, the cards, and the software that consists of the kernel space and the user space. And so we're now working on the operator, we call it unload operator. And it uses the KMM operator to manage the lifecycle of the kernel modules. So we use the build feature. We appreciate it that it also comes with the DTK driver toolkit pre-built images for the base OS. And we also use it for the runtime, of course. And we currently fixed on the version 1.1 of KMM because it works for us well. And I tried the version 2 to see how it goes, and that's essentially what I found. A couple of differences. So our kernel module depends on the in-tree kernel module for certain features. And the first observation I made was the symlink changing the behavior with regards to symlinks. So you and Evgeny have helped me with the KMM version 1, so that if I have the kernel module in the loader image that depends on the in-tree kernel module, then we create a symlink that would make the mod prop aware of this dependency, right, in a graceful way. But this one doesn't work in V2, and currently we have two schools of thoughts, as far as I understand. The one is more secure approach. I think that's what you're currently doing. You essentially in the worker pod, you sort of quote unpackage unquote files from the loader image, and then you create a symlink with the hard-coded name that we use to load the modules. And the second school of thoughts is you allow the image to contain the symlink, and then you make the worker application to create the symlink in sort of dynamic way. So if we want a symlink to point to a specific location in the host file system, it creates it for us. But this obviously is a security issue.
Exactly. So I think that's exactly a great explanation to the problem. So what the worker pod application does today is that it pulls your KMod image and extracts it indeed in the pod's file system, so that then we can run mod probe against that extracted directory. The KO files are there. The I think modules.deb file is there. So everything is there as you would expect. Now, right now we actually do skip all the hard links and symlinks that would be present in the container image. So those are not extracted. The question is, we extract the image under a very specific directory path on the worker file system, and we would like everything to be contained, obviously, in that directory. The problem is, what if you extract symlinks that are pointing to some other place in the file system? Is that a security risk? So we've been doing extensive testing with Evgeny, and we found that actually, if you untar, like a simple tar file, a simple tar archive that would contain symlinks, those actually are not rewritten. I just somehow assumed that the symlinks were rewritten to be to point to some place under the directory that you had just extracted, but that's just not the case. Tar doesn't rewrite the symlinks. So we are just. I'm personally contemplating just replicating the tar behavior, to be honest with you. And so if you had a link in your container image that would point to /lib/modules, then we would extract that and we would keep the link pointing to the pods /link/modules. And I think that to some extent, we may have security considerations. But anyway, if you have permissions to deploy a kernel modules, then security is actually, you can do whatever you want to begin with. So.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I had this, I had a very naive sort of approach for the symlink. I thought, well, it's a container, and we create a symlink within the container. What could go wrong? Yeah. Either way, you decide it's good. I mean, whether it's a dynamic or hard-coded one. I just wanted to hear what's the forecast.
The only problem is if you extract first the symlink, and then the archive contains files that are located inside the symlink/directory, then you might be extracting files outside of the ch root or the directory that you're extracting to, the destination directory, which is far from ideal. Now, is that a concern or not? I do not know, to be honest with you.
I forgot. Do we mount the host file system read-only in the worker pod?
Yes, we do.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, we do. So I know that's a use case for Hirsch as well. For Intel, you guys are also very interested in reusing the entry modules.
That is correct.
Yeah. So I think, and I think Evgeny, you keep me honest here, but I think you would be in favor of just extracting and pointing to the original files without rewriting the link target. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think eventually we are just, we are running inside the container. If, for example, like in version 1.1, we were just using container as is, and we could access any file on the file system of the container. I don't see that I don't foresee there should be any security issue when, we have picked that extraction directory randomly, right? We could just as easily create directory under root and then extract it there. We are not escaping the container itself. We're just escaping the confines of our own decision.
Yeah.
So
there is
we are
no
mounting
new...
everything else is read-only. So I don't think there should be issues with that one.
Yeah, I don't see any new security implication. And again, we are not doing anything that TAR wouldn't do. So
yeah.
So all in all, we can probably proceed with that. So I think we want to target this fix for version 2.0.1, and we want to release that early next year, probably before the end of February. So I will just take note of that. Mid-February. And this is very approximate, right? But I think this is what we're targeting together with a couple of fixes for version 2.0.0. And then, so if we don't have any question or any objection about this, then I would move to the next item.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, so can you tell us about the next item, Ivan?
Yep, sure. It's fairly straightforward to explain, I guess. So whenever I test the KMM module CR in a simple way, I create a YAML file that contains the service account, some other objects, and the module definition. So I do it, I apply it in the OpenShift with the OC apply -f, the file name. Then I test how it works, and then I delete it with OC delete -f YAML file. The problem here is that if the service account is deleted before the module is deleted, then the KMM struggles to delete the module.
Yep.
So that's the issue. I guess there are also two schools of thoughts how to handle it gracefully. I thought when we create the resources in Kubernetes or OpenShift, there's kind of eventual consistency. When given you provide all the resources, it will manage to construct the entire deployment of whatever thing you have. And for the deletion, if you delete it, if you delete all in one go, it will sort of put things in order somehow magically, and then remove it gracefully. And I thought if there is a hard dependency on some deletion order, there would be finalizer. But I honestly don't really know how to sort it between the service account and the module. I'm not sure what are your thoughts on that.
I think I know. I have a pretty good idea on how to solve that problem. The only thing is that it's probably a lot of work for the controller. So the problem here is that okay, let's say your big YAML manifests actually add first a service account and then a module resource. So the service account is actually referenced in that module, and it will be used to create the worker pod that will load the kernel module on your node. Okay, all good so far. Then when you delete the whole manifest file, we are first going to delete the service account, and then and then we're going to delete the module. So what happens is that there is a finalizer on the module, and KMM will try to unload the kernel module from the node before it allows the module resource in the cluster to disappear, which works as expected, but now KMM doesn't have the service account to run its worker pod. And this is where we have a problem. A way to fix this would be to add a finalizer to all the resources, all the service accounts, all the config maps. Probably only the service accounts and the secrets that are referenced in a module. So that whenever we are trying to delete a module, then we are sure that the secrets and the service accounts that we might need to unload the kernel module on the node are still available. So I think this is how we do it, but that means we need to watch all the secrets and we need to watch all the service accounts in the cluster, and add a finalizer whenever they start being referenced by a module. I do think we want to do that from a UX perspective, though.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a couple of lines patch. Totally. Watch all the resources.
I'm sorry?
It doesn't sound like a couple of lines of patch.
No, it's not a simple fix.
I guess it also implies the cascade deletion. If you remove the service account, it will imply removal of the. If the user tries to delete the service account manually, it will trigger.
Then I don't think that should delete the module. I think the deletion should hang because the finalizer will be there still in the module.
Cool.
I think this is what we would expect. But I think we can implement that in a separate controller. Go ahead, Yevgeny.
Yeah, I was just thinking, eventually we are expecting that all the resources needed by KMM will be created prior to module creation, right? This is like a basic assumption that I think is pretty common in every scenario. So if this is our assumption for creation, why can't we assume something like that for deletion? What Ivan has described is a test scenario where he's deleting using some YAML file, right, Ivan? You have a YAML file that creates everything,
yep.
and that's how it works.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, but in the production environment, most of the times, I think like 90% of the times, it would be operator, some kind of customer operator that is using KMM, and as such, it would implement a code that will create needed resources prior to and delete them afterwards. So the question is, aren't we doing here like a lot of work for testing environment and not for production environment?
Yevgeny, I don't think it's that uncommon to begin with. And we've been talking about service accounts, but if you stop thinking about namespaces, let's say you had a namespace in that big file, and you do kubectl delete -f, the big YAML file containing the namespace, the service account, and the module. And then you have a terminating namespace, the service account that's been deleted, and a terminating module. And the problem is you cannot, you're stuck in that situation. You cannot add back the service account because the namespace is being deleted. So you're really in an awkward situation that is not trivial to fix.
I agree, but again, you're describing something that is manually probably done during test. This is not something that will be done in any operator. Is it such a giant request to ask the user, okay, this is how it should be done? This is the resources that are needed by KMM prior to deploying the module. Please make sure that they're there until module is unloaded. Or in case you deleted them by mistake, just recreate them and that's it. Most of the times that you will see such an issue is when you are doing something manually.
I think that's a big assumption.
Why not?
To be honest with
you. Why is it a big assumption?
Because we see users doing it like this already.
Yeah, but where do you see it?
Well, Ivan reported it.
Yeah, but even reported it in a test environment, right, Ivan? It's not that it's not going to be a production sequence. I mean, you're not going to run in production environment with YAML. You have an operator that is doing everything that needs to be done.
I think we do suggest our customers to apply everything in one go with customize. So that's what I actually thought the point of the customize. You define a set of resources and then apply them in one go, sort of thing. Otherwise, it would be sort of, if we do the ordering, they're going to be a make file, like the ordered make file. You apply one resource, wait until it's propagated, then you create another resource. So it's kind of the, in my view, I thought it's the operator. That's why we need the operator, and the KMM is operator. And if it manages these resources, you would expect that it would put things in order. So I don't know.
But don't you have your own operator that is running both KMM operator and?
Yes, we do, but this operator is it also consumes the service account created by the user. And I mean, if KMM doesn't do the finalizers thing, then we do it in our operator, and that's fair enough for the operands that we manage, but we don't actually use and consume the service account.
So Ivan, I have a question. So
yep.
Who is deploying the KMM module? I mean, who is creating the KMM module when you want to load a new kernel module? Is it the operator or?
Yes, it is the operator. Yeah.
So okay, and you're probably doing the unloading also, right?
Yeah. So
okay,
we define a custom CRD, and when the user creates the CR, we send an API. Well, we create the module resource in the operator. Yeah.
Okay. So when do you expect the customer to run the deletion of the YAML? I mean, you're requesting them to run the YAML to deploy everything that is needed prior to, or maybe when you deploy the KMM operator, right? I mean, I'm trying to see the sequence. The KMM operator can be deployed via OLM, right?
Yes, certainly it can be. Yeah, we can decouple these steps. Not a problem.
So the question is, when will the deletion of the YAML be executed?
So the user is the same way. The user has a YAML file, and we actually have it in the examples at the moment. In the YAML file, we have our custom CR called onload, and along with this CR, in other YAML files, we have the service account definition, and this is all applied and deleted in one go with customize.
Yeah, but the module is applied and deleted by your operator, right?
Yeah. So technically, we could sort out the finalizers and delete the module first, and then delete the service account. I mean, unblock the deletion of the service account for Kubernetes. So essentially, it's I guess we do it, someone else does it, Intel does it, and then why not make it part of the KMM operator?
Yeah, I would agree with you, Yevgeny, that it's a matter of documenting it only if we didn't have that problem of namespace deletion, which users cannot really recover from. I think that's really a problem that we need to address, and I think that we can implement that fairly easily with just another controller, actually. I think I can try to prototype that until the next occurrence of this meeting in early January. But for UX, it seems to me that we need to implement that. So we'll note that down.
I'm just wondering, what about the role and the role bindings? that are connected to that service account. So you don't have them in the. So you will eventually have to, to go over the roles and role bindings and find which ones are related to the service account, and then you will have to put a finalizer on them also.
I wonder if there is a if it's a good idea or not to create a maintenance service account for the KMM. So in this kind of emergency, if the service account disappears and we want to create the worker pod to remove the module, I wonder if there are any other possible maintenance tasks that the operator wants to do. I know it's
we have like a default service account if you deploy, and it's part of OpenShift KMM.
Mm-hmm.
So in case you deploy a module in the OpenShift KMM namespace, you don't actually need any service account. Everything is taken care of. Here we're talking about the namespace that the customer has defined.
But this is downstream stuff, Yevgeny.
Yeah, but Ivan's problem is in the downstream, I think.
Yeah, but this problem is also valid upstream, I believe. But as part of the role binding, the cluster role, I think that's not much of a problem because the user can still recreate them as needed because the namespace is still there, I believe.
Yeah, but I mean, but this is the same as with service account. I mean, what's the difference?
No, I don't think so, because if your namespace is in the if you have your big YAML file with the namespace, the service account, and the module, if you delete that entire file, all the resources in that file, then your namespace will be deleting, and you cannot add back the service account in the namespace.
You won't be able to add role bindings also, role and role bindings. I'm not talking about cluster roles. I'm talking about role binding, namespace roles.
Yeah, but if we have a finalizer on the namespace, then I don't think it's deleting anymore, and I think we can add back the resources that are needed for the service account to work. You know what I mean?
So you want just to put the finalizer on the namespace instead of on every other resource?
On the namespace and service account. Actually, on anything that's referenced in the module. So that's secret, service account, and namespace.
Why do you need it on other resources if you have it on namespace?
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. That's fair. We could just have it on the namespace, in fact.
Actually, if we have it on namespace, it will be like a very this is like a very short and elegant solution.
I mean, if we have it on the namespace, why not also have it on the service account? And on the secret.
I mean, what for? What will it give to you? I mean, it won't be even it won't be activated because you delete the namespace. The namespace has a finalizer. It doesn't actually delete anything. So,
no, it does. It does.
It's not connected. Yeah, but in that way, you still have the issue of role and role bindings. You still have to put it on them also.
Yeah, but you don't know how that's set up. So no, I wouldn't go that deep. I don't think so.
Yeah, but then you will have an issue with the worker pod. I mean, if the role and role bindings are deleted, it won't help you if the service account is deleted.
Yeah, but that is something that is out of our control. That is something that we cannot detect. It's not referenced in the module, so we do not know, what role bindings were actually created as part of that big YAML file.
Well, you can go over the role bindings and roles in the namespace and check which ones are connected to the service account. I mean, if you don't handle the role bindings and the roles, then what does it matter if we handle service account? we are doing just half the job.
Mhm. Yeah, but like I mean that chain can go quite far
Yeah,
high.
yeah.
Because we're also talking about cluster roles maybe, and cluster role bindings.
Yeah, because the user can delete it also.
Yeah.
So if we can just sit down. You never know if you have covered everything that you can cover.
That's why I would stick to what is directly referenced in the module. Secrets, namespace, service account.
Yeah, but it won't protect you. I mean, if we're talking about
it will
scenarios
protect you
that
to some extent.
no, but if you're talking about scenarios that Ivan has described, you won't solve his scenario, right? Because role and role bindings and cluster roles and cluster roles bindings will be deleted, so it won't help you that the service account still exists.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's quite a large dependency tree. Didn't realize that's going to be that broad.
Well, maybe we can, ask in the community. I'm pretty sure we're not the only ones who should who are trying to deal with such a situation. I mean, what is the acceptable way to handle it? I mean, I haven't seen a lot of operators who are putting finalizers on other objects that are created prior, that are needed by the SARDs or CRs. Maybe we should ask around to see how everybody else is handling it.
Yeah, we could do that. I'm not sure where to ask. Maybe Signode.
We can start with Brunel, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Brunel from Signode.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have a way forward. Yeah, I think we have a way forward for that one.
Yeah.
Anything else on that topic, or actually any other topic?
That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the community sync. If that's all, then we can give everyone, I guess, 20 minutes back. And we will reconvene I believe on the 3rd of January. Yeah, that should be the next occurrence of that meeting. All right, I'll stop the recording. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.